Hello everyone, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' demonstrator in Australia. I would like to welcome you to the Stamp Across the World blog hop, and this month we are casing our amazing 2024 to 2025 annual catalogue. So I have done something super duper crazy, and before I show you that, I do really want to encourage you to check out everyone's projects, because we have all done something different and something amazing out of the catalogue. So as I was saying, I've gone super duper crazy, and I was inspired by this Unbounded Beauty Suite Collection card, specifically this one here. So if you follow me on social media, a week or so ago, I put up a post about me using lots of die sets, stamp sets, about 10 dies, a punch, 2 stamp sets. That's for this card. So this is the card that I looked at and went, oh my God, that's amazing, using so many different dies. But in essence, it really has used the dies from these 2 sets. I don't have this set. I do have the paper, which we are going to use today, and I do have the embellishments and the glimmer paper, which we will also use today. So I had to improvise. I went through all my dies, and specifically a lot of my label dies, and I worked out what will work. This card took forever to make. It's probably going to take a little while for us to make together, but I have prepped lots of our pieces, but there are still pieces we are going to use together. So let's have a look at my card before I go through everything we will be using. So this is my card. So just give you a look. There's a bit of sparkle, a bit of shine, designer series paper, stamping, punching, the whole lot. So the 2 stamp sets I have used is Layering Leaves and Textured Floral. I do have a story for a bit later about Layering Leaves. It actually coordinates with the bow punch. That's sort of where my story starts, because I wasn't aware that these 2 stamp sets went together and that they were in the last catalogue. So it goes to show you that even us demonstrators who go through our catalogues quite a bit often miss things, because I'm really in love with this set. So 1 punch, 2 stamp sets. Okay, then we have our 10 dies, and that has just magnetized itself to here. I do have lots of bits ready and already die cut out, but they are our 10 dies. These are our 6 die sets. So we are using Spotlight in Nature, Nested Essentials, Radiating Stitches. Now, the dies that I've used out of these sets are not in the sets, but these are the ones I've used. I've used Sketched Butterflies, Textured Floral, which goes with the stamp set, Cheerful Daisies, Perennial Postage, and many of you know all of these are some of my absolute favourites. Perennial Postage and Lucky, this is our Lucky Last. Okay, so we have got our things out of the way. The Unbounded Beauty Designer Series paper is this one, and the patterns, oh, so sorry for knocking you there. The patterns that we are using, we're not using the A sides. We are using the B sides. So I'm using these 2, and I'm using both sides of this piece because they're both so gorgeous. So they are the almost full-size pieces that we are using of the Unbounded Beauty paper. And do you know what? I've probably actually got that name totally wrong. No, I was. Unbounded Beauty Designer Series paper. The other thing I've also grabbed out is, and this goes with the original card that I have cased, which is just copied or taken some elements to inspire a card. So this is the 2024-2026 in colour glimmer paper. So this is in all 5 of our in colours, and today I am just using the Petunia Pop. So our ink colours will be Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop and Shy Shamrock, which are 3 of the in colours. But all of the in colours actually feature on our card. And I've also grabbed out some Stays On ink to do our sentiment. I think that is it. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with our layering leaves and ink up both these images. Now you are literally crafting along with me because I haven't prepped as such. I haven't got my stamps on blocks or anything like that, because there was so much on my desk already. I thought, now what I need to do with this, and this is a top tip, this is going to fit in our punch. So I want to let this stamp relax, specifically the stem, so it will fit in our punch nicely. So I just put the stamp onto a piece of paper, so something that the stamp isn't going to cling to. My glass mat, the stamp is going to cling to, and I don't want that to happen. I just want this to nicely relax, so then when I pick it up, it is going to be in the image of that. Okay, now with these ones, I also need the inside pieces. So inside pieces don't need to relax as much, but I do just like picking them up off a flat surface. This one shall need to relax. I'm just going to pop my punch to the side there and pick this up. So I've got everything out of my layering leaf set. I do have a piece. I've got a couple of pieces. I just grabbed one out just in case. Now this is where I need to do some planning. I learnt, and I'm going to pop that there for you to see. I learned from making this the first time that I need to use a thinner piece of paper, and I need to unlock my punch, and I need to plan where and what way I am going to punch this, because I've got 2 punches on the same piece. So I want my stamp going stem right, leaves left. Okay, so let's see if I can follow my own advice for once in my life. Okay, and open this Shy Shamrock. This does not want to open. Now, when we are having a few issues, I can just pop my scissors in and twist, and that just breaks the stiffness, and you can open and close it a few times. I'm just not that patient, so that's not what we're doing. So for our outline layer, I am going in with Full Strength Shy Shamrock. Perfect. Oh, that's a little close to the edge there, but that's fine. So to fill in the leaves, I'm using Shy Shamrock again, but I'm going to stamp off. So this is, that stamping isn't perfect, but it is close enough. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to pop, actually, I'm going to do the smart thing. I'm going to close this because I really want to do all my stamping together. So close that, and we're next, well, I really do need to stick that stem down because I keep on catching it. We're going to go in with our Petunia Pop next. Now, this one, I actually need, so by looking at the punch, I want flowers right, stem left. So I want it the opposite way. So I'm going to take our detail stamp and do this way, okay? And then I'm going to take our solid stamp and stamp this off and go in. So just pray for me here. Okay, that worked. This is actually really, really faint, but it has filled in that bud. So just subtle, but it has filled it in. Okay, so close this. Next, I'm going to take my Thinking of You sentiment, which I probably should have pre-prepped because we are going to need to hand cut that out. Okay, so I just want to like prime my stamp here by getting a few layers of Stays On. Now, yes, Stays On is really, really going to stain this stamp. I'm not worried about that because I love the blackness and how solid an image you get using Stays On. Okay, so we're going to hold it there, let the ink transfer, pray to all the stamping gods, and take this off. I'm so happy with that. Now, to get rid of any excess ink, because I do not recommend using Stays On Cleaner on our photopolymer stamps. It does actually eat the stamp surface, which would give you not the stamped image that you would like. So I could get to that straight away with our Stampin' Mist, and that will help lift a lot of it off, but I haven't got time for that now, and as I said, I'm totally okay with that staining. So our final image is from Textured Floral, and it's this actual flower center, but I loved it as like a little sprig. So let's go grab that. Oh, I cleaned the back of all these stamps and they're all sticking so well. This stamp set, I had all the stamps falling off, and I had cleaned the back of them with my stamp chamois, and they still weren't sticking. And I actually had a friend who was very successful in reattaching or getting her stamps back in a sticky state, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, that's good. I'm happy with that because that little bit there is actually in the stamp. So they are our 4 images. So what she did is she reverse mounted her stamp So she put the solid side out and cleaned them in the Stampin' Scrub with Stampin' Mist, and then wiped it down with our stamp chamois with just water, and that whole set is now stuck, because previously they'd stick and then they would unstick. So now I'm going to cut all of these out. So taking the bow punch, and this is where we line it up and we squeeze and pray. Okay, now I did just get a little blank friend here, but I'm fine. Fine to sacrifice that. I'm going to pop that up here. Now I'm going to take this one and squeeze. This one isn't as perfect, but it's close enough. Very happy to use that. So now I want to just do some trimming. I'll use my little scissors. No, I'm going to use my hand cutting scissors. So I do have some hand issues. For anyone who hasn't visited before, I have a condition called Charcot-Marie tooth. It affects my hands and my legs, so it really does affect my mobility, and I just find it easier to use a pair of scissors with a spring. Okay, so I will hand cut that in a second. What I want to do now is, in my little dish of dies, is grab this one, and I'll also make this frame while I have my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out. Okay, so here is my machine. Let's open it up. We will grab our plate. So I don't use plate 1. I use, I'm so sorry. I use plate 3. I find I get a better result. Every Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is slightly different because they are a machine and they have 2 rollers that they don't quite butt up to each other, but you've got to make the sandwich in between the 2 rollers. And they're within a tolerance, but they are not all exact. So I'm just going to line this up. I'm happy with that. I'm going to pop this in on an angle, and I'm going to sandwich that down. So I put pressure on this top plate until it catches in the machine, and then I just go all the way through, and we pray that it is perfect like it is. I'm going to put this die back in my dish because I don't want to lose it. Now, I do have our Petunia Pop glimmer paper here, so just going to snip off that extra piece because we don't need it, and just going to bring this through. So I have here the Nested Essentials dies. So these are the 2 smallest of our curved rectangles. So I'm going to put the outside one down, and then I'm going to pop the inside one down. And what we are aiming for is a nice even frame. Just a titch this way. Maybe, hold on. They're just loving each other a little bit too much. They're just wanting to attach to each other, which is fine, but just not while I'm trying to do a video. I love this. And if you are a first time watcher here, I do things in real time, and I also don't edit my videos. I just top and tail, and then you get everything in real time. So if you, would you believe I did this in 2 seconds the first time? That is perfect. So okay, that is sandwiched down, still sandwiched down, and we are going to crank through. I got it perfect. It just went in the right place the first time. No issues at all. Always, always, always the way. But that's okay. So let's remove all of these. I'm going to put these back in my dish so nothing gets lost. Take this glimmer piece off, and I'm just going to use my scissors to lift that perfect frame, and then I have the inside for another project. So that is another piece done, and then all I have to do is hand cut this thinking of you. So I'm going to give you some tips along the way, and I can remove that stamp set, should I say, and we can just focus on doing this. So I like to move my paper rather than turning my scissors as I do this. It gives a much smoother line. So I am moving, I'm like opening and closing my scissors, and I am doing some turning, but I'm moving my paper more than what I am turning my scissors. Okay. So I'm trying not to rush, but I am rushing, if that makes sense. So I just like getting all those little indents, but I do like leaving a fairly generous white border, because that does cover a lot of sins in our hand cutting. Now, this piece was getting a little heavy and difficult to move, so I just go in and snip that off, and then we start again. So I can go from here, and I have got a little bit of a sharp edge there, but that's all okay. Okay, and up here and around. It's actually not a bad sentiment to hand cut at all, and then all I have to do is go in and fix. There we go, popped off. Pop those to the side, and over near this K, I am actually, it's not too sharp at all. You can see we're a bit bowed. We've got a few sharp edges. To fix that, I just grab my bone folder, I turn my stamped hand cut image, whoa, upside down, that isn't what I wanted, and I literally just rub my bone folder along the edges. So that pushes everything back, and you get that really nice finished image. Okay, we are up to assembling. So this card base is Basic Beige, which is one of our new in colours. Now, where do I want to start? I think I want to start with the two elements at the bottom. And if I was smart, I would have used adhesive sheet, but I did not. So we are just going to use multi-purpose glue and dimensionals. So I want to kind of get most of our base images down. So I just want to use teeny tiny dots. Okay. And I'm going to try really, really hard not to shake when I do this. But you know, that's easier said than done sometimes. Now, the other thing I am going to use is just a plain block to hold things down. Now, these are all my other pieces that I have cut. So this piece here is from our Spotlight in Nature. And this is using, you can see which piece on the back here that we used. Now that was lucky, that fell right way down. Okay, I do have a little bit of glue there. Just going to wipe that off. Now, this flower is actually upside down. I'm not actually too worried about that because we will put our butterfly on. I might leave that butterfly just for a second. And I'm going to start popping some of our elements together because this piece here, I stick the greenery onto this and then pop it on dimensionals, and then this one is dimensionaled onto the circle and then put on with glue. So it's just a matter of assembling the pieces. I've chosen to start at the bottom and work my way up from there. So let's go here with this piece. I am going to bring back in this piece here. How did I just drop that? Where did I just drop that? That is not the piece. I want this piece. Is it stuck to my hand? No. Oh dear. It's not even stuck to me. Oh, I see it on the floor. Please tell me I'm not the only one that can lose things in a nanosecond, because apparently that is a talent. Okay, so I'm going to put tinsiest bit of glue on the bottom, which I haven't done on my original yet, and just 3 dots on the flowers. Okay, I could use tweezers, but I'm not great with tweezers. And will I get gluey hands? Absolutely. And we shall just deal with that. Okay, so this flag is also from Nested Essentials. I'm just having a look here at my placement. And I think we are going to be happy with that. So that is another element done. Going to bring this one here. Oh, no. So this is also using the Designer Series paper and the perennial postage. So I only want, if it will stand up, I only want kind of these 2 middle ones to be stuck, and maybe the top of this bottom one. Okay, so that's what we want stuck. Okay, turn this over, hold it by the stem, and just go like so. Okay, I pulled that right off, which wasn't the aim, and that's way too far down. Okay, that's better. Like that, happy with that. What's next? This one, and I will get a dimensional and pop that on. I think I can use a normal dimensional on this one, but I know I will need to use some minis, so I will have those out and ready to use. But as I said at the start, I really went overboard, and this is not my normal style of card, but I did really enjoy making it. I just loved all the different elements and bringing things that you wouldn't normally pop together. So I thought that was a lot of fun using my Take Your Pick tool. I've done it again. Done it again. Sleeves. No. On the floor again in the same spot. Okay, I've got to stop making this a habit. Okay, this piece here and this piece here. Great. So I'm actually going to be smart and use my scissors so I have a proper view of what I want to do. So this is Pretty in Pink on our Shy Shamrock, and you can just get those radiating lines from the radiating stitches coming through there. So this butterfly, I'm actually going to just snip the tinsiest bit here, because the edges of our dimensionals are sometimes the absolute perfect pieces for what we need. Okay, I'm just going to remove this piece so I can actually see what I'm doing. This one just wants to be fussy. There we go. That is off. I do like moulding the leaves just a little bit. So this sketched butterfly die with that multicolored piece. So we're kind of going a faded petunia pop on the Pretty in Pink. Now I do just have piece that needs to come out, and there we go, that's out. So that is there. Now that this is all dry, I can pop this one in. So just with 2 dimensionals, just to keep it nice and balanced. So you can see building it from the bottom up gives us the right spacing for where we would like to go. So just want to make sure that that is fairly straight to the side, And then I'm going to add a dab of glue there. And that will be enough to pop this one down and have some wiggle room. So you can see we have that line now. And this piece did not adhere at the bottom. There we go. So 2 dimensionals again for this piece. And we are almost there. We are definitely going to mimic the embellishments of the original card. It did use the in-colour embellishments, but I wanted to go a little more neutral, if that's a thing, and I have used the iridescent faceted gems. So we're going to go here for this one, actually a little bit more over, and possibly this is a little further down than the original, but that's okay. That's a little more centered. Okay, happy with that. So we have this piece. This is actually from the Cheerful Daisies set, and I have done this in our peach pie. So I'm actually going to leave this in here because it's going to make it so much easier for me to add the little dots of glue. So I'm particularly concentrating on these pieces kind of across here. Now I am going to try and be smart. I haven't tried this before, but we are going to try and see if this will adhere really nicely like this. And I'm looking for that block we were using before. So I just want to pop the block on that. And while that is, fingers crossed, adhering, I am going to pop some dimensionals on the back of our sentiment. So I spent quite a relaxing afternoon creating all of these elements and popping them together. I normally don't take that much time to make a card, but it was really, really nice to be able to do that with the inspiration of the catalogue. But I'd love to see you take on the challenge of what inspires you from the catalogue. Now, has this done what I wanted to do? Absolutely not. But that's okay. Have I got significantly less gluey hands than what I anticipated? Absolutely. But no, I should have taken this out. That's okay. I'm just going to re-glue it because I didn't loosen this up because it's quite a delicate die. And there we go. That is out. I still do have one piece to loosen up. There we go. Okay, so let's see what we can do here about sticking that back down. Actually, that went down on the dots that were already there. Whoops, sorry about that. Really, really well. Now, I'm just going to take off all of these pieces and it will really secure that down because it is very, very hard to adhere to glimmer paper. You basically want to use a dimensional or glue dots to adhere to glimmer paper, and because this piece is so fine, I have adhered to the inside of that frame where the thinking of you is going to go across. Okay, so I kind of want to go about there. And doesn't need to be straight, no, because it's a hand penned script font. Okay, so let's grab our iridescent gems. As you can see, I have loved them quite a bit so far, and they are half gone. So using my Take Your Pick Crafters tip, I am going to pop one in the middle of this butterfly to finish that off. Just finishes it off perfectly. And then I am going to put, I think I'm going to go a slightly different tact because this doesn't have any space on the inside like it did in my original card. So just changing how we're doing things, going to fill that space. And then I am going to do this. Now, the reason I am using these gems is to draw your eye around the card. It is very busy, and the gems are a great way to draw your eye just going around the card. I feel, because we've used 2 there, but just going, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, I like using odds together, and I like that framing that corner. So I've used 3 here, 3 there, 1 there. We've got our glimmer, and I think besides that edge there, we have finished that card front. I have a thick basic white card base. That I'm going to score with a bone folder, and then I'm just going to add glue to. So that is going, the white card base is going to highlight all of our white pieces or white edged pieces that we do have on the project. So just, and the basic beige is just the perfect base, being a lighter neutral, and because we've used the Summer Splash and the Shy Shamrock, it does actually have a slight green base to it, so it does coordinate with those colors. So that is my second card made. So this one I already previously have made. I am just going to add, oh, that's a little too high. Just going to finish this card just like so. Right, now we have that end. It's not going to get caught on anything. So we have used our 2 stamp sets, layering leaves with the matching bow punch. I have used, and also the sentiment is from Layering Leaves. I've used textured floral for this. All of our dies are the sketched butterflies. I have used the perennial postage, radiating stitches, nested essentials, cheerful daisies, and spotlight on nature. So if you didn't have the Unbounded beauty, I will bring back in my catalogue to show you what I cased. So we're almost there. I opened up one page, maybe 2 pages shy, fairly close. So this is the original and this is what I came up with. So still using some fun shapes, using some circles, using a frame, using a scalloped edge. So I've taken quite a lot of inspiration from this, as well as the colours in the Unbounded Beauty Suite. I do have everyone else in the video hop linked below, so I would love you to give them some love, give thumbs up, give a comment. Make sure you're subscribed because they are all fantastic card makers. Make sure you're please doing that for me as well. I would appreciate it. And I shall see you in my next video. Thank you so much for hanging with me, and I will see you soon. Bye.